Hi everyone, I'm Hextasy, and a couple weeks ago we tried our hand at competitive Pokémon, and today we'll be picking up where we left off. We have a couple more poorly thought out teams to try out, so let's get right into it. First up, we'll be trying out our Hail team against... I don't know how to say this. But they open up with a Heatran and a Fluttermane against our Abomasnow and Articuno. Fluttermane moves first and hits Articuno hard with a Thunderbolt, almost taking it out. Articuno then retaliates with a Blizzard, not doing a lot to Heatran, but almost taking out half of Fluttermane's HP. Heatran is the next to move, and it uses Heat Wave, taking out Abomasnow in one shot, but missing Articuno. We bring in Beartic to replace Abomasnow, and thanks to its Slush Rush ability, it's the fastest Pokemon on the field. Heatran sets up a Protect. We use Earthquake, only affecting Fluttermane this turn. And unfortunately, we just barely miss the KO, and it takes out Articuno with a Thunderbolt. Well, this is going great. Next in, we bring out Excalibur. Heatran gets swapped out for Tornadus, and for whatever reason, we have Beartic hit it with a Crunch. I don't know what I was thinking 3 weeks ago when I recorded this, but clearly I wasn't using all my brain cells. Thunderbolt lands a Fluttermane on... Frick! Fluttermane lands a Thunderbolt on Beartic. We barely survive, and in another 5-headed play, we had Excalibur use Earthquake, which takes out Beartic. But we also get Fluttermane too, so it's not a complete loss. Unfortunately, Excalibur is holding the Choice Band, so we are locked into using Earthquake. So we're gonna have Excalibur go out in a blaze of glory. She takes out Heatran. She gets flinched. She terastallizes into a ground type. She fails to kill an electric type with Earthquake, and then she dies. Well, this is a great way to start the video. Well, that's the first loss for today, and puts us at 3 wins and 2 losses. For our next fight, we're up against another foreign name that I can't read. They open the match with Ursaluna and the Ugly Space Duck, and we bring in Abomasnow and Articuno again. Ursaluna starts the game by using Protect, saving it from a Blizzard from Articuno. Cresselia hardly takes any damage from it, but now Abomasnow can set up Aurora Veil, cutting any damage we take in half. Cresselia then sets up a Trick Room, so their slower Pokemon will be moving first now. And at the end of the turn, Ursaluna gets burned by its Flame Orb, and thanks to its Guts ability, that means it gets an attack increase. On the following turn, Cresselia uses Helping Hand, increasing the damage that Ursaluna will do with its next attack, and Ursaluna uses Facade. This move's power is doubled thanks to Ursaluna having a status condition, but thanks to our Aurora Veil, Abomasnow actually manages to survive. We retaliate with 2 Blizzards, taking out Ursaluna and leaving Cresselia in pretty poor condition. Next in is their Iron Hands. It moves first and hits Articuno with a Thunder Punch, failing to even take out half of its HP. Abomasnow responds with a Blizzard, and it actually freezes Iron Hands. So that's pretty lucky. Cresselia moves next and hits Abomasnow with a Moonblast, but even with Abomasnow on the brink of death, it's not enough to take him out. So Articuno can respond with one more Blizzard, and Cresselia goes down. Finally, we have to deal with Fluttermane, who gets a special attack increase thanks to its booster energy. Iron Hands is frozen and can't move, and Abomasnow can hit it hard with a critical hit Earth Power, bringing it to the brink of death. And Articuno is free to take it out with a Blizzard. Fluttermane then hits us with a Dazzling Gleam, finally taking out Abomasnow. We bring in Excalibur next, and an Icicle Crash is enough to finish off Fluttermane after a Blizzard from Articuno. winning us the fight. For our next fight, we're up against Juan Simon. Finally, a name we can actually read. Juan opens up with Articuno and Scizor, and we bring in Abomasnow and Titan. Thanks to Slush Rush, Titan is actually pretty speedy, and it hits Articuno hard with an Ice Spinner. But surprise, it's actually a Zoroark, who kills Abomasnow with a Flamethrower. That's fantastic. Scizor then sets up a double team, boosting its evasion. I'm sure that won't get annoying. We bring in Hydreigon next, and Juan swaps out Zoroark for Weirdeer. His Intimidate ability lowers Titan's attack. Hydreigon moves first, and we go for a Flamethrower on Scizor, but we miss. Awesome. Titan uses Earthquake, but we don't do too much damage. Scizor then hits Hydreigon with a Pounce, taking out about 3/4 of its HP and lowering its speed. On the next turn, Weirdeer uses Helping Hand, boosting the power of Scizor's Bullet Punch, which it uses on Titan for some reason. It takes out about half of its HP, but then it can land an Ice Spinner on Weirdeer, bringing it down to about half HP as well. Hydreigon moves next, and we actually land a Flamethrower this time, taking out Scizor. The real Articuno is in next. It uses Protect, and this is unfortunate because we used Ice Spinner and Flamethrower targeting it. This means that Weirdeer is free to use Skill Swap this turn, swapping its Intimidate with our Levitate ability. Intimidate activates, lowering Weirdeer and Articuno's attack, but thanks to Articuno's ability, its special attack gets doubled. Juan then terastallizes Articuno into a pure flying type as Weirdeer uses Helping Hand. We land Ice Spinner, taking out about 2/3 of its HP, and Hydreigon hits its Flamethrower, just missing the KO, but burning Articuno. Articuno then lands an Air Cutter, taking out both of our Pokémon. All that's left is our Beartic. We immediately use Aqua Jet, taking out Articuno, and Weirdeer hits Beartic with a Terra Blast, bringing us to just over half HP. Zoroark comes in next. We Terastallize into a Ground type before using Earthquake, completely forgetting that Weirdeer had our Levitate ability. So Weirdeer is immune, but Zoroark goes down. Weirdeer hits us with a Terra Blast, and we're left with just 2 HP. We outspeed on the next turn, and we hit Weirdeer with an Icicle Crash, taking it out. But thanks to the Life Orb that Beartic was holding, it also goes down. But because Beartic went down second, the game counts it as our win. This brings us up to 5 wins and 2 losses. Next up, we'll be swapping to our Rain team, and our first fight is against Sven. We don't talk about this fight. Following that embarrassment, for our next fight, we're up against Morta. She opens with a Maushold and Cresselia, and we bring in Gastrodon and Kilowattrel. We immediately swap Kilowattrel out for Pelipper, who sets up the rain for us. Maushold hits Gastrodon with a Population Bomb, and it lands 8 times, killing Gastrodon instantly. And Cresselia sets up Trick Room. This was a great way to start this. We bring in Kilowattrel next. Cresselia moves first on the next turn and hits Pelipper with a Moonblast, taking out about 1/3 of its HP before it hits Maushold with a Hurricane, just missing the KO. Maushold hits Pelipper with a U-turn, bringing it to just over half HP, and swaps out for Urshifu. Unfortunately for Urshifu, it's immediately hit by Kilowattrel's Thunder, bringing it below half HP and paralyzing it. Thanks to Paralysis cutting its speed, Urshifu moves first in the Trick Room. It hits Kilowattrel with a critical hit Wicked Blow, taking it out in 1 hit. Cresselia then uses Lunar Blessing on Urshifu, healing it and curing it of paralysis. But that's not enough to save it from a hurricane from Pelipper, which takes it out. Mousehold comes back in, and we bring in our final Pokemon, Floatzel. Mousehold is swapped out for Ursaluna, and we terrestrialize Floatzel from a water type into a water type. Cresselia hits Pelipper with a Moonblast but fails to get the KO, and Pelipper can hit Ursaluna with a Hurricane, leaving it with just over half of its HP. Floatzel can then hit Cresselia with a Wave Crash, finally taking it out. But now Mousehold comes back in once again. Ursaluna moves first and takes out Pelipper with a Facade. Mousehold goes next, and Floatzel goes down to a Population Bomb, losing us the fight against Morta. Well, that was mortifying. For the last fight of the day, we're up against Tyler. He opens with a Moongus and Fluttermane, and we bring in Pelipper and Vaporeon. Fluttermane moves first and hits Vaporeon hard with an Energy Ball, taking out about 2/3 of its HP. Pelipper goes next and hits a Moongus with a Hurricane. This always said Hurricane. Just missing the KO. And Amoonguss' Citrus Berry heals it up. Vaporeon moves next and uses Icy Wind, bringing Amoonguss back down to pre-Citrus Berry HP, and dealing a small amount of damage to Fluttermane. Amoonguss then uses Spore, putting Pelipper to sleep. Fluttermane still outspeeds us on the next turn, and an Energy Ball takes out Vaporeon. Pelipper stays asleep, and Amoonguss hits us with a pretty weak Pollen Puff. Next up, we're bringing in Floatzel. Amoonguss uses Protect, but Floatzel's target was Fluttermane, and a single Wave Crash takes it out. And Pelipper is still snoozing. Next in is Urshifu. We swap Floatzel out for Breloom as Urshifu uses Protect, and Pelipper is still sleeping. Amoonguss lands another Pollen Puff, this time on Breloom, and dealing a decent amount of damage. On the next turn, Urshifu hits Breloom with a Taunt, forcing it into only using attacking moves. Which was our plan all along, and a Bullet Seed takes out Urshifu. Pelipper finally decides to wake up, and a Hurricane takes out Amoonguss. Tyler's final Pokemon is Landorus. Its Intimidate ability lowers our attack, but that's not going to matter in this 1v3. And Tyler seems to understand that because he ends up forfeiting the match. It's anticlimactic, but I'll take it. With that, we're at 6 wins and 4 losses, and we'll be calling it there. There will be one more part to this little series, in which we'll be using our Sun team, so look out for that. Anyways, I've been Hextasy, thanks for watching.